Hello, everyone. This is our community launch basic income journey, part of the Creative Wealth community. And I'm Zachary Weaver. This is Lucy and Sam Williams. We're launching a basic income for Lucy and Sam of $2,000 a month. That's our goal. And but what's the update? Is it 230 or has it changed?
230.
$230 a month is what Lucy and Sam are
We
receiving.
did have
all these generous people.
a $20 one-time donation happen the other day. That was really nice.
Really sweet.
It's very cool that Ko-fi has that option.
It is.
Oh, what were you going to say, Lucy?
Well, I was going to say we made some business cards to be able to share when we perform, or when we share, or when we're anywhere. That has the Ko-fi barcode on the back, QR code. Yeah. We're excited about those. They should come this week, I think, or so. And we have a lot of ideas as far as just connecting with people one-on-one. I think feels like maybe the most impactful and maybe the most successful way to sort of add to this.
Oh, yes. That I have been so excited for the idea of, well, maybe we talked about anyway. I've been so excited for the idea of reaching out to people, promoting your Ko-fi page, making a direct ask to those people, and in the same message saying, and I would love to do something nice for you. I would love to do something nice for you. Let's hop on Zoom and we can figure out what it is. But doing that so that people get the full feeling of what this project is, what this is, because it's not just, I think there are lots of people, we've all gotten messages from people, asking for donations, or asking for a crowdfunding campaign or stuff. So that's very, very common. But the feeling of this is that we want to say this is changing your life now, or we want this to change your life now. We want to, everyone is important. And again, like I said before, I want to change the narrative from you should care about all of these things to we care about you. We care about you. And yeah, that's so yes, I'm very excited to be reaching out to people individually like that.
So you're saying you would reach out individually on behalf of the people you're raising money for, or the person you're right?
On behalf of someone else, yes.
Do that. Because I think also we could do the same. And this is what we're testing, right? What's more effective? Is it more effective for you to do it for the person, or is it more effective for us to do it ourselves? And I mean, where I stumble is the asking part or the sharing part, because if I start to suddenly feel a projection towards me that why am I asking? Why should I, why aren't you just getting a job? That kind of thing, I sort of freeze up still. And so I'm just thinking the whole desire of a community launched income is the first word, community. That's the feeling of community is a feeling of wealth for me. And so in that desire, if I'm reaching out individually to our Facebook Sam and Lucy page supporters, letting them know we really don't use Facebook much, we use Ko-fi now. And then sharing a little bit of this, it would feel totally awesome for me to offer. What can we do for you? What
Mhm.
could we connect in a way? Could we hear your latest? What's been going on in your life? Would you follow on Ko-fi so we can feel this connection? You know, I don't know.
That's sparking in me like the idea of, I know we had talked about doing like a questionnaire type thing and saying
Oh
like,
yeah.
what would you like to see more of? Or how would you like us to engage with you? Maybe we could ask more like directly that kind of a thing, in a one-on-one thing. Like, we're wanting to engage more in ways that we are excited about. Facebook has seemed a little bit like less exciting for us, but we've moved to Ko-fi. Like, what are some things that you would be excited by, you know, us sharing?
Sharing more
I know Afshin was talking the other day about starting a Ko-fi, and I instantly was like, I
Which you
could
have.
see,
which
yes,
he's
which he
done.
has done,
It's
which is
excellent.
awesome. We donated. So
We are getting all the updates.
yeah,
Awesome.
we've been getting a lot of ideas from his posts.
He has an
too.
excellent page. If you want to learn how to set up a Ko-fi page, go. He's very focused on his purpose and his what he's really excited about sharing. He knows his posts are incredible. But keep going with your thought.
Well, I instantly was able to see what I would want, what I would be excited by seeing Afshin share, which would be like behind the scenes, like him showing how he does that vocal effect with those cool vocal effect. Like, hey, I just figured out this new technique. Let me give you a little 1 minute demo of how I did that. Like, I would love to see that. And I wouldn't necessarily need that to be like Ko-fi supporters only, like we were talking about that. But if I
Yeah.
was supporting him, that would definitely be something that I would love to have access to and just tune in and say, oh wow, that's really cool. Now I'm inspired by that. So I think it would be fun to ask people like, what would,
Yeah.
and just let people respond with anything. And then we can kind of see like, oh, a lot of people really want to see our creative process, or a lot of people really want to hear more about our personal life, or a lot of people really want to just support us just because they love everything we're doing and they,
Anything
anything we
goes.
share is
Yeah.
cool. Like, that might help us get a pulse of like what would be, what we could share that would help people engage even more, because we are interested in people engaging more with us. And oftentimes we'll share a post and it'll sort of like maybe two people will kind of respond. That's sort of been our experience. But I would love it if like 100 people responded and people just got super excited, and then it became this whole
community.
So maybe that could be a fun way. And I don't know if a questionnaire or like a one-on-one
It's
post.
like a Mouseketeer, but
Questionnaire,
dressed up as a
I know.
question.
I
I'm
was
a
like,
questionnaire.
I was like, wait, that's questionnaire. That's a
I like that vision.
questionnaire.
But
Mouseketeer.
I could see that even working, because that's like, there's the reason I like the what could we do for you question is because it's so unexpected and like unusual, literally. But at the same time, I'm super eager to know what people want. So maybe what we could do is follow up. If we say, what could we do for you?
But that could be in the same
Then
kind
follow
of a
up
thing,
in
right?
another thing with a questionnaire.
What could we do for you could also be like, what could we share that you would love? It's kind of the same, in my mind, the same question.
So I'm thinking bigger than that. I'm like, what could we do for you to help your wealth, to help your heart, to help your mind? It feels broader than what can we share for you so that you like what we share. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I see both being awesome.
Yeah, and for me, the what can I do for you, like that is definitely that's definitely like my question, my excitement, and I wouldn't expect anyone else to like take that road with it. It's just like, In fact, like if somebody was reaching out for someone and they didn't necessarily feel comfortable being like, "What can I do for you?" To everyone, I would say like, well, you could say, Zachary is offering to do something for you. So like
Yeah.
somebody could say, "Hey, could you check out Sam and Lucy's page?" And also, we're trying to, I don't know, create change in the world, or we're trying to do nice things. And so like, if you want somebody to do something nice for you, Zachary's willing to do that. So there's just always like, it doesn't even have to be
True.
there's just so many ways to do it, but we get the feeling flowing. We get the feeling flowing. We get the energy flowing. It's I told you guys, yeah, aggressive generosity is what I keep coming back to, that we just need to shake people. We just need to like rustle the leaves and get energy coming through. We just need to get energy moving in a different way, in a way where people like, where they go, "Oh wow, that's possible. So what is this possible? Is this possible?" And I had this kind of Afshin asked, he was like, "So what do you think the best way to," and I'm gonna paraphrase, he asked really good questions, but he was basically like, what's the best way to or what do you think the best way is to get people to the Ko-fi long term? He was like, do you think it's like, having like a lot of content, and then kind of like making it members only, so that then like it kind of like draws people in and they're like, "Oh, I want to be a part of that," or something. And as he was talking, I was thinking, I like it kind of I felt bad because I didn't feel like I really had an answer to give, and what occurs to me is like, it is all down to what the individual wants. So it's whatever Afshin feels really good about doing, and I didn't want to contradict that. But of course, as I was hearing it, I was like, well, for me that's too complicated. Even that is too complicated. Like for me, I have to, like, I am going this route of all you love to give, everything is free, aggressive generosity, because that's what lights me up. That's what makes me feel like, oh yes, I'm like changing the world. We're doing this. And so, but of course that's just me. And so it's like, obviously, for Afshin, like there's just so much, because there's just so much. I want people to be, I don't want to run over people with my particular flavor, and there can be so much, like there can be that intrigue, and it's like, oh, like I'm a part of something like special here, if there's like, kind of like stuff behind a, well, the word would be paywall, I guess, but a curtain. And so there's some magic there, or there's magic there. And I want to keep doing that, where I'm like really encouraging people to do it the way that they want to, but somehow I need to like, but somehow I probably need to express, it's like, that's very different than how I'm doing it. And, or I'm doing it this way, but you don't have to take that as an expert opinion, because I really don't. If your goal is more people on Ko-fi, I don't know that aggressive generosity is the way to do it.
And at the same time, I would say it's very important that you express, because the vision and the vibration of what you're seeing is beyond right now. It is a vibration of the new world where it's commonplace for people to be sharing freely. That's where we're going. I am sure that's where we're going. And so I think most important for anybody to do exactly what feels exciting for them in this moment. And that might be a lot of the ways that are common this moment, membership tiers and all that kind of thing. But when you reflect, that's complex for me, I see it this way. What that's doing is activating, we're wise light beings, right? We're all here for this transformation. And the people drawn to you were most likely very ready for this transformation. And so it's activating something inside ourselves that already knows where we're going. Our future selves, our higher selves know that's in us, that's there. And so when those of us that can see beyond now, which is hard to do, share that, I feel in my body it go, oh yeah, you're right. Because I have this tendency to go back to this membership thing, and I'm, yeah, but then we could get more people because they feel like they're getting something. And then I talk to you and I'm reminded, oh, but this is where I want to go. Why not be here now?
And I don't want to put myself into this obligation space of,
yeah.
And actually, I will say, like, we kind of did that with Afshin. Like, he was very into Patreon, and we talked to him last week about, the first thing, and we were really
just didn't feel good.
Zachary really opened, like, you really spoke your truth, and then by the end of that conversation, Afshin was like, "I'm starting a Ko-fi," and I think he did like the next day. So
yes.
It was pretty.
And he said it felt so much better. It felt lighter. It felt good. He was like, I couldn't seem to get the push with Patreon, and I didn't know why. And as soon as I switched to Ko-fi, everything flowed. So we don't know what that's about, but it probably is indicating, we're all drawn to this new way that we're going to start in our own little comfortable starting places.
Yeah. It's so simple to set up a Ko-fi page. I will say, like, just even on a very practical level, like if you get on Patreon, it's like, how much do I have to set up before this is ready? And if you get on Ko-fi, it's like, you can be ready to go in like 5 minutes. Just about.
Yeah.
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 True.
But yeah, energy. Thank you. Thank you for reflecting all that. Thank you for saying all that. I want to explain more of what I see, the way I'm doing it, speaking my truth, because speaking my truth comes with allowing other people to do things the way that they want to. It doesn't really come with telling people what to do. It just comes with fully saying, here's what I feel. This is why I feel it. This is why I'm doing it this way. And fully explaining that. Yeah.
I love it. The more we talk about it, the more it pulls me into alignment a little bit with what I really want, I hear you explaining to others, it helps me lock it deeper into my body. It's new what we're doing. This doesn't come naturally to your thinking mind. This is new stuff. And so of course it's confusing, even the source of a confrontation with others. That's like, well, I completely get where you are, because that's where we are right now, but we're seeing something new.
And I feel like this whole process is not necessarily, we're not approaching it necessarily with logic at all. It's more of like a heart. I mean, for me, it feels more of like this trusting, sharing, connection feeling.
It is a feeling.
Like, we could be very logical, like, okay, if we make this amount of posts and we engage with this amount of people, then this percentage of people will donate this percentage of money, and we'll be assured that we have that. I think there's a lot of people that are doing it that way, and it's there's definitely probably a formula approach to this, right? But it doesn't feel to me, I don't think to any of us, that is in our highest like excitement. And I think what we're retraining for ourselves and for others is like how to approach things out of your highest excitement, regardless of what the outcomes are, or regardless of what it's not necessarily about outcome based things. It's more about like enjoyment based, right?
What'd you say, Zachary?
Income based things, but exactly what you said, but in a different.
Ooh,
I love it, Sam. Yes. And the central principle of the new world is enjoyment. And we're not using any strategy except how do we enjoy what we enjoy easily?
how do we make this more
that
enjoyable?
more?
Yeah.
How do we make it more enjoyable? How
Yeah.
do I find? Yeah. So that really is the only strategy that we're using, but because that's so unusual, it's like we're training ourselves to even use that strategy.
Yeah.
I'm training myself to use that strategy and to
Yeah.
go,
Like to go there first,
yes,
instead of, oh, I have to do all these things I don't want to do to make some money and then I can enjoy. Nope. Rewrite. How do we want to live? I want to live in this way. And I'm getting bombarded with this from all directions right now, but the message is when you move through joy, all of your abundance, your needs, your greater bliss comes from there. Like you're completely supported. And I've been putting that to the test. And it's so far crazy. Literally, we're buying a house.
yeah, which is
How's that happening?
amazing. How's that happening?
Yeah. Our predictable
So
income,
good.
Mr. Bank, is $230 a month. And we're buying a house. Just take that in. The miracles can happen through joy.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Why that income feels so good, even at this, I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting $274 a month. I mean, it's amazing. And
Yeah.
I can't remember if I updated. Someone gave me $100. Did I say that on the last one? Probably someone is giving me $100 a month.
We could celebrate that again.
Let's celebrate that.
Such an acceleration for me. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. So I think it just feels so big, this small amount, let's say, in the grand scheme of things, like, because even I can start, it's a huge amount for me. It's a huge amount of like 230 to Lucy and Sam. That feels so big to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the reasons it are because the unconditionality of it, the unconditional nature of it, and the sustainability of the income, which is not to say that anyone has to continue giving. Anyone can cancel their gift at any time, but it's the fact, we were talking about it yesterday a little bit, of when people decide not to give, that's not the whole income falling off. That's a little bit. That's a trickle out, and there's a trickle back in too, or there's an expansion, or people are hopping on faster than they're hopping off, and that's, from what I imagine, unless there was like a huge crazy shift of some kind, that would be this would be one of the few incomes that could not disappear quickly. And it's sustainable because of the unconditional nature of it, because it means that our energy is our energy is sustainable. We can do anything. If you can have a very stable job, maybe of like, this job will exist forever, but that means you have to do that job forever too, in order. So you have to be as stable as that role or as that job. And some people are, and some people are really good at it. But what I find is most people are not, or that's actually not the best thing for them. We're not that machine-like. We're not that consistent. We are human, and that is a good thing. That is a good thing, and we need to have income models that serve humanity rather than the other way around.
Yep. Good stuff.
What were we? Sorry, I'm rambling.
I wanted to share, we had a person from our choir a few years ago reached out and saw our newsletter and basically offered to come and help us be a roadie. He's like, I'll come and help move your gear. Just let me know when to show up. And then he said, and if you don't need that, I could offer to bring food and beverage, be the food and beverage guy, and supply that. And it was really sweet. I just felt his energy, so excited to participate in some kind of a way. That was Kevin.
That's really sweet. I haven't read that email yet.
He was really like, all the time I spent with you guys was so amazing, and I would love to help in some way. So it was really,
I mean, and the feeling I'm feeling just hearing this is so, it's like, it's the same as being given $100 or $500. It's the same feeling in my body. And I love that. That's community. That's the feeling of wealth. That's the feeling of support. And wow, we've got to take him up on that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that is, we can all give more. I wrote out this was really good for me. I replied to a comment, a comment that had been left a long time ago on Facebook on my original post about all of this. And the comment was like, I think there was just some misunderstanding because about it, and it was, if I give 10 people $100 a month and then I get 10 people to give me $100 a month, what have I gained? I think it'd be better to just get a job. And I, in replying to that, it just kind of came to me as I did it. I was inspired to write out all of these reasons all of these things I had gained from you guys. All of these reasons I would love to give you guys $100 a month. And it was just really cool because I was like, oh, this is what we can start kind of categorize. This is what we can start bringing into form for each other. It's like, what are we getting from people that they're not charging us for, that they're not asking anything for? And it was just really cool to describe it that way. And I almost wonder, now that we're talking, speaking of like the questionnaire, it might be fun to interview people who are giving you money or who just know you and say, what do you get out of your connection with Sam and Lucy? What is it? What do you gain? What are you gaining from your connection with Sam and Lucy?
Mhm.
And have them describe it. And because then as I wrote it out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like, there's so much here. And I knew that, like, I know that, and not like I'm aware of it on such a, I'm aware of it. As I wrote it out, I was like, oh, if I like showing this to people, like, of course they would start to see the value of Sam and Lucy and the way that Sam and Lucy are doing things, the way that we're doing things. It's like, oh, of course, when it's described this way, it's like, this is, we understand why this is more important than any job we know of for you guys, you know. Anyway, go ahead.
I love that you're sharing that, because it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, of like, that is a very practical, linear way to look at it. And I guess if you're like breaking down a goal to strictly
Make some
dollars in the bank
yeah.
account, then I could understand, yeah, that wouldn't create more dollars in the bank account. But think about all of the energy that is created from giving 10 people $100 a month. I mean, even just the basic fact of, like, let's say it was a Ko-fi or a Patreon type thing, and you had access to all of these things that these people were sharing. Well, you'd have all of that for one, right? You'd have the feeling of giving that money, and you'd have the feeling of receiving $100 a month from 10 people, regardless of how that accumulates on a bank statement, right? It's like, I feel like there's almost more value in that collaborative participation of people than like if $1,000 a month just showed up in your bank account without any collaboration or connection with any people. I mean, that could be nice too, I guess. But it's like, I guess that's part of the retraining of people, and maybe some people aren't there, or maybe don't want to go there. But
well, what a person wants when they're looking for the dollars is this very mathematical life. You do this, you get these dollars, then you can do this. And that's how it's been for, really, guys, how many centuries? And so it's deep. But what we want is to feel good now, so that we can feel good now, and then we feel good now.
Yes.
That's creating the new world. That feeling goodness is what is creating the new world, not planning, fighting, working hard, none of that, because all of those are the old world. All of those energies go back to what it's been. We know what it feels like to fight the fight. We know what it feels like to work hard. We know what sacrifice feels like. We know what obligation feels like. We know what martyrdom feels like. We know that. And what we are learning through our meditations, through all this wisdom that's flooding to earth right now, is that there is something better for humanity than that. And this is helping us feel that feeling daily, step into new ways so that we can live in a completely different feeling of vibration than anyone can remember.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh my God.
And now I was going to give a hallelujah.
Yes.
Comes on and I just can't stop. No, but I'm super excited about it. Really.
Yeah.
This is what we were born for, y'all.
Yes.
The
Yes.
bridge, bridging the old to the new.
It's exciting to do the transition. It's
Yeah.
one way I need help or support, because I know I've been taken out as well. That's not, we can't minimize the details. I can't minimize the details of this. I get overwhelmed by lots of notifications and lots of communications. And honestly, I don't even have that many. You know, what I might get, there might be like 50 notifications or whatever and messages and like people, you know, reaching out. And I've always had a block with this kind of stuff. I'm terrible about getting back to people in a timely way, and like I've forced myself to do it sometimes, but it never sticks long because ultimately I'm going back to this enjoyment part where I'm like, okay, that's actually starting to like wear my energy down to like keep up with that. But it also wears my energy down to have all of these communications that I know I'm not getting to. So I'm trying to find the enjoyment where, or I'm trying to enjoy what I enjoyed easily here. Like yesterday, it felt really good to like make the comment on the one that was bothering me the most. But I don't know. I'm just kind of putting this out there because I'm just exploring it, and like I feel such excitement to be communicating with lots of people about this. And for some reason I start to get what is it? It's like freezing, it's avoidant when it comes to, oh, there are these people who have, you know, messages and questions and things, and or even positive encouragement, actually. Like when it's coming this way, I just start to avoid it, and then I start to make like systems for, okay, how do I process it, how do I go through it? And Noah pointed out that I'm kind of, or Noah said he was upset with me for something, but then he also said that I was kind of like a robot when I respond to things. And I don't know how to do this part, and it's such a simple, basic part.
Okay. Is this open for me to share some thoughts?
Please. Yeah.
I'm having a lot of thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can interrupt me.
No, I'm just thinking like, first of all, if someone gives you positive feedback, what about just clicking it and put a thumb on it? Thumbs up. You've acknowledged it. There's nothing you need to say. You can just feel like, that's awesome. I actually deserve this comment. This is the new world, right? We're realizing we're all beings of light, divinity, and that we deserve bliss and peace and reflection of beauty. Anyway, thumbs up that, done. There's 20 people that gave me positive, thump, bump, 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 bump. You're done with that in under 1 minute. Why, you know, it's going into the whys. Why do you feel you need to respond so thoroughly to everyone? If it's not fun, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
What does it mean? I feel there's some kind of a meaning that I'm recognizing this in my personal self. So I'm going to speak about my past. I used to feel like it meant I was a greater person if I wrote these very long, very formal, very thorough emails covering my side, their side, the other side, and the side that maybe we didn't think about. And over time, decades, I realized, this was like very early on when email kind of was invented. I realized, oh my gosh, I prefer reading responses from people that are direct, short, and very real. And so there's some fear, I think, for me in responding to people. I don't want to offend. I'm always fearful of that. And so that might be my hesitation. So there are options. I can pass it off to Sam and he does the responding. He has none of that social pressure that I feel. Or I can just play in being direct, concise, and light. Like, oh my gosh, awesome idea. Let's talk soon. Or maybe not let's talk soon if that's going to put another stressor on your plate because you don't want to have that awesome idea. Keep sharing them as they show up. And then you're off the hook. You don't have to reach out again, letting yourself off the hook more. But I feel like there's an underlying maybe thing that you can play with as far as where can I lighten up on myself? Because nobody that says great idea, Zachary, is expecting you to write a thorough response asking about their children and their last 10 years, no. If it's fun for you, different story. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Joe just wrote me. Joe, what's up, man? You will have written him back before you even think twice. The excitement just bubbled out of your fingers into the computer as soon as you read the message. So if that's not the feeling you're getting reading responses, thumbs up them if they're positive. I mean, can you let them go? Maybe you're refining what you like. Like, I prefer to talk to people that see the new vision than people that don't. And that's great. You don't have to respond. I mean, I'm thinking like Facebook and stuff, but if it's a direct email, that's a little bit different, but it's also like,
I'm totally agreeing with Lucy on this one. And I feel like this is something that I'm pretty good at. Like, I don't feel any pressure to necessarily respond.
He's amazing
or
at this.
Communicate. I always kind of feel like, okay, if I don't respond right away, I mean, there are certainly some things that are like time sensitive, like, oh, if I don't respond by tomorrow, I'll miss the opportunity. That can be a little bit stressful sometimes. I'm like, oh, do I do it? Do I not? So that's maybe a different case, and that could be a case by case kind of thing. But if it's like a less time sensitive thing, I can trust that even if in a month from now I'm like, hey, I'm finally getting back to responding. Thank you so much. That means so much. Maybe you'll even reach that person in a different way. Maybe there's a reason, maybe it'll spark them again. Maybe it'll ignite a whole nother thing than if you're like, okay, just got to get through this, just got to respond. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a different energy. And maybe even I'm getting an idea, like you could even say, guys, I do a 30-minute weekly Zoom call where I respond to everyone's things. And if you want to hop on and ask me some questions or have a dialogue, that's the time I've delegated to that. But I've realized that having to reply to every comment just doesn't feel as fun. But check me out on this 30-minute Zoom call. Like, I'll be there.
Or just not even mention.
I'm just saying,
just don't respond to all the comments.
There could be other ways to engage. If you're excited to engage, but comments feel unexciting, you could create, right? It's all about creating new ways to.
That's a good idea.
To engage. And I feel like releasing yourself from the pressure of having to respond at all. You can even send a little energetic response.
Yes.
Play with that. Like,
yes.
Hey, thank you. That's an amazing idea.
Yeah, I thank you. I love all of this. It's very helpful. And it is going back to yeah, ultimately, I'm afraid of, afraid of like dying and stuff, or from past life stuff. So I'm just like, I'm afraid of getting back to people, or I'm afraid of getting back to certain people. And
You feel like you'll be persecuted somehow, or
yeah, yeah,
you'll be blacklisted by them or something, huh?
yeah, they'll turn on me. And I'm afraid of it both ways, right? I'm afraid, oh, they'll turn on me if I reply in the wrong way, or they'll turn on me if I don't reply at all, or they'll turn on me.
Yeah,
So like I see every little red, you know, notification as a threat.
right. I could see that being intense.
It's intense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's anyway. So what you guys were saying was really good, and it is, and so like I want to be. It's like I'm putting more pressure on myself because I'm wanting to show that I'm a good person so that I don't get killed. And
I think I
so
know this exact feeling.
yeah,
And it's daring to break out of the comfort zone and just
yeah,
try an instantaneous shooter backer email once, you get
and
it.
I've done some of that. I've done that. It's in fact, I like that. I think what my Mercury is in Aries, so like my natural like written communication, I guess, is it's like short and direct. It's just, you know.
Nice.
So as you were talking, yeah, I feel like what probably maybe I can try is maybe I can try reading all of the messages, reading all of the communications, and then like later on, as I'm asking myself, what do I want to do, the or what do I enjoy, the ones that come to mind, maybe because they, upset me or something, the ones that stick in my mind, then I can respond to. Then I can take that question, or I can take that, or maybe that celebration or whatever, but I can take that, and I can um uh respond to that in my own time. Whereas right now, I'm afraid to read the messages until I'm ready to
Oh,
respond. Because I feel like once I read a message, if I don't respond right then, I'm afraid I'll forget about it, stuff like that.
and there's where Sam's talking about bringing the trust in.
Yeah.
So what? When you remember it, what if it was sparked by, the universe? Because that's the moment that would much more powerfully impact the person for you to respond than the moment they sent their message.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's just as likely that you'll forget about
It happens to me a lot. Weeks later, I'm like,
the message if you click on it and read it, as if you don't click on it and don't read it.
oh, I could see that would build up bigger as a big task that I
It's
don't want to
it's
deal
worse
with.
when you see that number and it's like gone to 81, and then there's 100 comments I gotta look through.
Oh,
like
Definitely worse. Just
that's
read them as you go, and don't. I would just also give yourself the freedom to not have to respond at all.
even as the leader of the creative wealth community, if people are writing you a lot of stuff,
Don't
I
have
feel like
to.
I give you
Use your
permission.
own instruction to us.
my own instruction.
Nothing is more important than reading everything. Right?
Mhm.
Wonders.
There.
Yeah. Our Swedish friends are calling.
Um, wow. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, that's
Thanks for
that's
diving
really
into
helpful.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's a big one, which I still need because my fear is like approval a little bit, or like yeah, it is the
I
same
think
as
that
yours.
the fear
Kind
I
of.
have is that I'll miss out on opportunities, or I'll lose connections that
Mine's
are
Yes.
beneficial.
yeah. Mine's that by responding, I might offend and lose people that way. Yours is by not responding, right?
Yeah, I don't feel any.
Mine is by
I don't
both.
feel like I'll write the wrong
Yours is
thing.
both. We're good. We're a good trio right here, aren't we?
Uh-huh.
I'm just,
Uh,
I have a total terror that I'm going to offend somebody. Every newsletter I write, every text I send, every email, and it's worse the more I love a person, like the closer I feel with someone, or like the more respect I have for them. Oh, how am I gonna, like a teacher or something? It's worse. I'm like, oh no, what if I offend them and they don't like me anymore? And it's so funny, this stuff. But the awareness of it, I think, is a big part of it. And just diving in and breaking through your thresholds is a big part of it.
mhm.
Being that you survived it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is, I don't know if it's obvious, but like this is such a big thing that's going to allow me to move forward, and it may take some more exploring or something, but it really, like, it's so big. It's so big. It's going to free up so much energy.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
can feel that.
You are helping me free up so much energy. Oh, thank you. Is there anything else you want to share? This was
Perfect.
I feel really
a different
good.
approach.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, love you guys. Thank you, everyone. If you're listening, thank you so much for following along on our community launched basic income journey. Lucy and Sam's Ko-fi page is in the description on YouTube. And please, I would like to ask for you to give an amount that makes your heart sing every month to Lucy and Sam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
And,